but many women, a majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children, and we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company. And we're wondering why so many young ladies are miserable and angry, because they're at war with something within them that they actually want to do, which is to have a relationship, have children, and nurture future humans into this world. And there's obviously something wrong. We know who are the happiest women in America. Women with 3 or more kids are the happiest women in America.
I'm thinking of instituting an award for all those young women who are healthy, who are capable of having a child, but choose not to have one. This is coming from a fanatism that only what comes out of your body can be yours. It's a fanatism. You will see, we have hundreds of couples who are each are full-time volunteers and part-time volunteers. None of them have children, they've just chosen not to have because I'm giving them thousands of children, millions if they want, if they're ready. So where is the need to biologically identify with one child? Why can't this person be yours? Why are they not yours? This is what being human means. This is what humanity means, that if you are willing, you can live here without any sense of boundary. Boundaries are not fixed upon you by nature. It is an unconscious, compulsive boundary that you're setting for yourself. That means you have not explored the dimension of being human. You're still trying to operate like a creature on the planet. Today we are 7.6 billion. By 2050, they're estimating we will be 10.3 billion. When it's 10.3 billion, I don't want to be around. Another 50% rise in the world's population, you can imagine what all problems you will face. We are ensuring that our children cannot live well on this planet by producing more children.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. What can young women do to safeguard their health and prevent significant health issues in the future?
In today's world, the way the society is structured, the way the many aspects of life has arranged itself, women have to care much more about their health than men. Simply because nature has invested a very elaborate reproductive system in a woman. We were all born out of a woman's womb, so there was an elaborate system inside. Normally, if you look back, they would start using the reproductive system by the age they were 15, 16. It was put to use probably throughout their life. At least throughout their reproductive life, in some way it was put to use. If a woman had 6 or 7 or 8 children in her lifetime, most probably it was spread out throughout. So reproductive organs were used in a certain way. Because of that, she did not have those issues as they have today. Another reason is, both men and women, of course, were working hard physically, physical work. Because of physical work, there never was any fat around the abdomen. At a young age, if a girl gathers abdominal fat, she is asking for it. There's simply no two ways about it. She is just asking for it, it will come. How soon or how late depends on various genetic and other aspects of life. But once abdominal fat gathers, then a young woman is definitely inviting trouble for herself, it'll come. Not enough activity, physical activity I mean. They may be working in an office, but that doesn't mean anything, because that's not physical enough. If you're working in a field, that would be different. I think the problems that you're mentioning largely are happening in urban women, simply because their physical activity, even if they exercise, it's half an hour, 1 hour in the morning, rest of the time they're sitting. So, because of this, there is not enough activity in that region. That's one reason. Another thing is reproductive process is not made use of, that's another reason. So if you're not using your reproduction process, that is, if you're not bearing a child before you're 21 years of age, it's very, very important that you must do Hatha Yoga. If you do gym, if you run, if you do this and that, run to some extent. But if you're just gymming and doing muscles and you're looking fit, that's not good. You must do intense Hatha Yoga. From the age of 12, if a girl child starts doing Hatha Yoga, she will go through all those issues most of them think is a big issue and go through lots of struggles for every stage of development within themselves. They will go through this effortlessly. So this has to come, that if reproductive health of a woman has to be maintained without reproducing, it's very important that certain things are done, and that part of what you're doing should be largely focused in the thoracic region or the abdominal region, must be worked in a certain way. There is no system which works it the way the Hatha Yoga, the systems of Hatha Yoga will work it, and there are specific asanas and processes which can be taught. If they do this, they need not go through all those medical stuff that unfortunately the numbers are rising in a big way. Another dimension of this is also urban young women these days, a lot of them are very disturbed about something or the other. At one time, only your family or your children or your husband or your immediate friends disturbed you. Now you have friendship across the globe and just about anybody can freak you anytime. So just a message is enough that you worry about it for next 3 days, for whatever reasons. I don't want to blame it on any one thing. It has become a norm that everybody must be stressed. So this also can be very easily handled. The basic body chemistry can be brought to such a level of balance within you if you do the right kind of yoga. And this is the solution for the future generations. Otherwise, this will rise because today, I think, including the rural, tribal, all kinds of women put together, the average childbearing age, I think, has gone up to 22 or so. But I believe in the next 25 years, it will go to 35 most probably, and it's a very good thing. So if it goes up to 35, then the number of these type of issues that young women will have will multiply manyfold unless they take care of themselves. Taking care of themselves is not about medicine, not about doctors. You must start yogic processes so that the body brings a certain balance. Chemical balance is there in the system, hormonal balance is there in the system, all this glandular secretions are happening well in a balanced manner. If this is happening, they will not go into this mode of unnecessary ailment. Well, a percentage of people will always have some physical illness, that's a different matter, but right now there's an unnatural level of percentages. The society is reaching an unnatural level of sickness, so that has to be brought down, it's very important.
But many women, a majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children, and we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company. And we're wondering why so many young ladies are miserable and angry because they're at war with something within them that they actually want to do, which is to have a relationship, have children, and nurture future humans into this world.
I guess what I'm trying
Kids are way more important than being, a data scientist at Dropbox.
But… okay, what if you don't want to have kids?
That's fine. Then go do it. You're risking that you might end up super miserable, and that's what we're seeing. Is that we have seen a spike where half of women in their 30s that are unmarried are on antidepressants. Half. We've never seen a spike like this. And again, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but we've never ever seen a generation or a group of people so angry, so miserable, so medicated. And there's obviously something wrong. We know who are the happiest women in America. Women with 3 or more kids are the happiest women in America. If you want to go be a data scientist, God bless you. This is a country-free country. Go do that.
Today, many women in our modern society are stepping out and having a career. And I'd just like to know, what do you think of this, of women stepping out, being career people, managing home as well, being financially independent. Is this good?
Say every woman should do what she wants to do as an individual person. It should not be made into a trend in a society or the only right thing to do in the world. Because I think if a woman intends to have 2 children and raise them, I think it's a full-time job. I'm not saying she should not go out and work. If she wishes to, as an individual person, she's free to do what she wants to do. But having 2 children is not about reproduction. You're manufacturing the next generation of people. How the world will be tomorrow will be determined by what kind of mothers you have today, believe me. So, why is it… I've seen many ladies coming to me and say, when I ask, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just a housewife. I said, why do you say you're just a housewife? You don't seem to understand the significance of, being able to nurture 2 or 3 new lives. It's not a not important job. It's a very important job. I have to say this. My mother never said anything much. She never went about telling me, I love you or you love me or anything of this kind. It's just that she simply lived. And it never occurred to us whether she loves us, she doesn't love us, such questions never came, because her whole life was dedicated to us, she lived for us, she never said it once, but that's all it is. And I cannot imagine that part of my life without her being around. It is just that she never played an active role in what I am, but the background that she set, without the ambience that she set for me, I would never be what I am, for sure. Whatever else may be within me, still the soil that she set around me, without ever interfering with who I am, what I am, just the ambience she set around me and the effort she took to set that ambience, she gave her life to set that ambience, knowing fully well it will play out somewhere. And why does anybody think this is not an important job? In my life, I feel what she did is the most important thing she did to me. And one of the most important things that have happened to me is early life, you never had to think about anything. It was simply, she made sure the background was simply always there, without a single thought about it. Unconcerned about what's happening around you is what gave me the possibility of sitting with my eyes closed for days on end. Otherwise, this wouldn't be possible, I'm saying. So, career, I want you to understand, right now because we have made the whole world into economics, unfortunately, women also getting as stupid as men, as if how much money you earn is going to determine the value of your life. No, it is just procurement of things that you need. Money is just about that. Man was procuring, woman was taking about the more beautiful aspects of life. Now woman also wants to procure. If there is such an economic need in the family, fine, she must do it. But it is not a compulsive need. It must not be set up as something better to do than doing something. If she sings song, if she plays music, or if she just loves her children, or if she cooks beautifully, or she just lives beautifully like a flower, it's good enough, I'm saying. It is not necessary that only if she earns this much money, she is doing something valuable, otherwise she's not. If there is an economic need, she can do it, or if she has a passion for doing it, she can do it. But let not such values be set up in the world, because you are not evolving, you're regressing. You are making survival more important than aesthetics of life.
For a woman who chooses not to be a mother, who doesn't…
Oh, I'll give you an award.
So she has chosen you as an advocate for her case, and you have to fight her case. So what are the arguments…
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
So there's a woman…
Yeah, she
who
doesn't want to have a
be
child.
a mother, and she's chosen you as an advocate for her case, and you have to fight her case. So what are the arguments that you would give for a woman who doesn't want to bear a child?
I said she needs to be awarded. I've already announced in India, young women who are capable of childbearing chose not to do it, we will institute an award for them. Because right now the greatest service you can do in the world is you are not extra populating this planet, okay? If suppose you were a tiger woman, I mean to say a female tiger, then I would have encouraged you, please breed, please breed. Because it's an endangered species. Well, you know, see, we are not endangered. Wherever you go, there is a crowd. Well, to protect a nation, you have to build a wall, otherwise people are coming. Obviously, there's too much obviously, there is too much population everywhere, isn't it? So, this is something we need to look at in a very fundamental way. This is happening because the need is inbuilt. The reproductive need is a very inbuilt need. Whatever arguments they have at one point, the body dictates. Fortunately, there's a lot of pain and stuff involved, otherwise I don't know what would have happened. So, this need, if one has to transcend, instead of forcefully putting it down, if your identity naturally shifts beyond your biological self, you will see these needs will completely disappear. Right now, I want people to understand, what you're looking for is not a child. What you're looking for is involvement. Right now, your problem is, you simply cannot involve with people unless they came out of your body. Your identity of biology is so strong, you can't simply include these people as yours. Oh, this one came from my body, this is mine. This is because you're trapped in your own biology, that's all it is. Why should it fall out of your body? Not necessary. Human being has the ability, this is an animal instinct. This instinct is needed for the survival of the race, of course. But now, the survival of the race depends on consciously controlling the population a little bit. From the beginning of 20th century, in 1910, our population was just 1.58 billion, let's say 1.6 billion. Today we are 7.6 billion. By 2050, they're estimating we will be 10.3 billion. When it's 10.3 billion, I don't want to be around. Hello? I want you to just imagine another 50% rise in the world's population, you can imagine what all problems you will face. We are ensuring that our children cannot live well on this planet by producing more children. It's very, very important. We must understand why this has happened is not just because of unbridled reproduction, no, that is not true, it's controlled. It is simply because our life expectancy is extending itself, it's fantastic. For example, in India, when the British left India, our life expectancy was 28 years. How many of you are over 25? 28, I'm sorry. So you're all dead. That's what it meant, I want you to understand, 28 years. Today it has reached 70. It's a phenomenal achievement in 70 years of independence. So, when we take death into our hands, should we not take birth into our hands? I'm not propounding any philosophy, I'm just talking simple arithmetic. Hello? When we take death into our hands, should we not take birth into our hands? If we don't do that, if we do not consciously contain our population, nature will do it to us in a very cruel way. You want to wait for that day? You can. But being human beings, it'll be nice if we do it consciously, isn't it? When I see the fertility clinics, my heart sinks because this is coming from a fanatism that only what comes out of your body can be yours. It's a fanatism. Why can't this person be yours? Why are they not yours? This is what being human means. This is what humanity means, that if you are willing, you can live here without any sense of boundary. Boundaries are not fixed upon you by nature. It is an unconscious, compulsive boundary that you're setting for yourself. That means you have not explored the dimension of being human. You are still trying to operate like a creature on the planet. If you explore the dimension of what it means to be human, you would see inclusion does not mean biology. Inclusion means consciousness. If this comes, if consciousness rises, you will see we have hundreds of couples who are each are full-time volunteers and part-time volunteers. None of them have children, they've just chosen not to have because I'm giving them thousands of children, millions if they want, if they're ready. So where is the need to biologically identify with one child? I'm clearly noticing who is clapping and who is not, it's okay. So, I'm thinking of something very audacious for which I'll become super unpopular. I'm thinking of instituting an award for all those young women who are healthy, who are capable of having a child, but choose not to have one.
Oh, you got a good endorsement for
Because
that.
whether you realize this today or not, you think the problem is parking, you think the problem is garbage, you think the problem is healthcare. No, the problem is population. There is no other problem.